checkered floors and old.
Hey there, Joefer here, the cranky old gay guy. Today's episode is going to focus on the fears that senior gay people have when entering a senior care facility. I don't mean visiting, but I mean actually becoming a resident of said facility. The number one fear is that they will be the only gay person in the entire place. I mean, they'll be unique, yeah, but they're afraid that they're not going to have anyone to relate to. I totally understand that, and what you're hearing is my dog lapping up water. She does this at such inopportune times. So that's what I've heard, is that they'll be the only person there. Secondly was that if they came out as gay and didn't pretend to be straight like the other residents, that they would be ostracized and be totally alone. Well, this is 2025, so there is a good chance that there will be another gay person in the facility. I believe it would probably be common knowledge. It just depends. A lot of times gay people have children, and children come to visit and bring grandkids, etc. So no one knows that you're gay. They'll just assume that you're a widower or a divorcee or something. The best way, I think, to find out if someone is gay at one of these facilities is if the opposite sex is flirtatious with them. I think they would be shut down. I mean, that's just personally. My father was in a care facility, and he was the new guy, so the old women flirted with him, and he flirted back because he was really into that. If he had been gay and they'd been flirting with him, I think he would have said, you know, you're barking up the wrong tree. So the gaydar is still there, but it's probably a little different when you are in a senior facility. It's probably going to work a little bit differently because there are a lot of fey straight guys too, who at that age, I mean, it would be hard for me. I don't think I could tell. Another fear is that they will have nothing in common with the other residents. Well, I think you will have a lot in common. The only thing that you might not have in common is who you went out with and dated. But you all had jobs, you had a life, you had families or came from families, you had friends, you may have traveled, you may have had a business, you have a history. And that's common with everybody that's going to be there. Everyone's going to have a history, so you shouldn't feel shy about sharing your history. You're going to find that you have more in common than you think. The next one was something that my dad went through, and when my mother, she came to live with one of my brothers when she got ill, and then she came to live with me, and then after a few months, it was time for foster care. She did not want to go into foster care. She did not want to be with strangers. She just doesn't like it. She doesn't want to change. Well, she went into foster care, and after about 3 days, then she loved it. But she did put up a fuss in the beginning and said things like, I don't like this. I shouldn't have to change what I'm doing and have to come here. But because of her mental decline, I could no longer take care of her at the house. And my brother had some other responsibilities, taking care of his spouse. Long story. But anyway, that's where she ended up. The next would be, I guess the next is advice. And my advice to a senior gay person who is checking into one of these facilities to become a resident, I think it's going to depend on if it's your choice to go or if your family's pushing you to go, or if maybe the state puts you in a place. I hope it's a nice place. I totally understand not wanting to be in a place that you didn't have a choice in selecting, or if it's subpar. I have heard horror stories of some facilities that are more like nursing homes than senior care facilities or senior apartments. They call them that, but in reality, it's people in who are ill or in semi-vegetative states that are just kind of pushed from one room to the other, and that it's more of an existence as opposed to living. So I get that, and that's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to I want to say senior care facilities where you've got your own place, but you have someone there that's going to check on you. So I guess it's called assisted care, but it's an apartment where the nurse comes by once or twice a day just to make sure everything's okay. My advice, and this is the advice that I gave my father, not that he listens to me or listened to me, and my mother, she listened, but I don't know if she understood what I was saying at the time. And that is just to be yourself. Because as a gay man or woman, you are unique when it comes to the general population. So what others may see as a difference, you being different, is going to be what makes you shine. So if you just be yourself, however it was you lived your life, just be the same way in the care facility. It's not your job to make other people like you. And if they have an issue with you, that's on them. I'm not saying argue and have fights or disagreements with people. But if someone is treating you in a specific manner because you're gay, that's an issue that they need to deal with. That is not your issue. Just ignore them. If there's any type of a physical attack, go to staff, make sure that they're on top of the situation. If staff is ignoring you, reach out to someone outside the facility, family member, friends, etc. Let them know what's going on. I hope that this helps a little bit, especially if you're considering going into senior care, or maybe you have a parent that's going into senior care. I'm not an expert. I've just been to these places with my father and the foster system with my mother. And I know it's not what most people envision that their retirement years are going to be like. It certainly wasn't for my parents. They didn't envision this at all. But things happen and things change. And this is how it ended up. Both of my parents have passed, like 6 years ago for dad and 8 years ago for mom, going on 9. Yeah. I think that's all I have to say on this issue. I just wanted to point out that sometimes seniors, I thought about senior care for myself, and I can't envision myself living in any of those places. I envision that I will just be in my house, and if it's not this house, it'll be whatever my home is until I'm not anymore. But that's probably poor planning on my behalf, because again, things can change. Many of you know I was in a serious accident in 1991. And as it turned out, I went home and stayed home. But if that accident had been just a little bit different, I probably would have ended up in a care facility at like 30, 31 years old. So yeah, things can turn on a dime. So keep that in mind, and it's probably in your best interest to plan ahead. Maybe not the retirement home you're going to go in 30 years, but if you're in your 60s or so, you might want to start looking around and just have a plan in case something like this comes up. I hope this was informative. It's not exactly, I haven't rehearsed, so it's not coming across as bullet point as I wanted it to, but it is what it is. And on that note, I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Checkered floors, an old-time charm. Memories held in wrinkled arms. fear of isolation gripped my heart. Said I won't fit in from the start. Bridges worn and paths unpaved, dreams of youth like colors fade. Nothing in common, so I fear in this home my heart won't cheer. But let your colors shine so bright. Be yourself through day and night. Rainbow and gray, don't lose your way. Show them love and you'll be okay. Tea and talk of days gone by, sharing stories, making ties. Afraid at first, but then I found love and joy here all around. Eyes that see beyond the years. Embrace your truth, forget your fears.